Welcome to LOCPOD.
Episode 9, Season 4.
Season 100 and something.
Episode 102.
We're starting off with a major problem that was just discovered this morning.
A news alert.
This is crazy.
Coming from the state capitol.
Is this plagiarism? It's not plagiarism.
I don't think we ever copyrighted.
You want me to throw it up on the screen?
Yeah.
So
I got to we're coming in hot.
For those that are just listening, Mayor Tom for years has used the boxing glove as his logo, and there's like a specific kind of logo. And
it took us a long time. So I know that if
Mark
you're
Anderson.
We literally drew this logo years ago.
Yeah, I'm going to say 2011.
For second reelect. I agree.
Yep.
So we said, Tom's a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
He's fought for Hammond for so long.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be appropriate to just have a boxing glove as our logo? Right?
Yeah.
So we made a boxing glove. We had an artist, a local Hammond artist, Mark Anderson.
Great dude.
Mark Anderson Studios creates his logo for us with the boxing glove. And anybody that lives in Northwest Indiana has seen this. It's become my trademark. Mm-hmm. Safe statement?
Safe statement. By the way, with like McDermott it's a circle with McDermott over the top in blue and for Hammond or for mayor and red on the bottom, and then 2 stars on each side with the boxing glove in the middle.
Right. It says like McDermott on the top, for Hammond on the bottom, boxing glove. And then like over the years, people for presents, I get boxing gloves.
Yeah. Or someone gave you like a bobblehead.
With
Chris Cantar did.
Right. So like a lot of the gifts I get.
Right here. Here he is. Look at
that.
This.
Look at
in the studio.
With the boxing gloves on.
Yes.
So I have a long history of boxing glove logos, right?
Correct.
And it's sort of like my thing.
Sure.
Right?
I think so.
It's appropriate.
It's been your thing for a while. Yeah.
Although we were talking in the Senate campaign, we should use like peace lilies or 2 hands shaking as my logo because I'm a different man now. Now that I'm running for U.S. Senate, I've changed my ways. I'm not a fighter anymore.
Nah, you're still a fighter.
I'm all about bringing people together and love.
That's true
peace
too.
And love, basically.
Even when you're fighting, you bring people together.
I was thinking of peace symbol, so we're toying with that. You stay tuned. But still, somebody stole my logo, Kevin.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Isn't imitation the best form of flattery, though?
But this is straight up thievery. Jill, is there any difference between these 2 logos?
Well, the name.
Well, I mean, my biggest issue with this is why is there a hyphen between city and county?
That's how they do it.
They do it down there.
Wait.
That's how they do it in Indianapolis. It's this.
I misread it.
They have because of Uniga.
Let's start over.
In Indianapolis, the legislative body is the city county council.
Yes, it's a combined. It's a consolidated city, the only one in Indiana.
21.
I think
members.
More.
Maybe 25.
I think more.
I think you should sue them. Do we know any lawyers?
Jill, look that up.
We know a couple, yeah.
Okay, we should.
But good lawyers, not really.
Did your campaign lawyer trademark this or no?
No, we don't.
What the hell?
Who is our campaign lawyer?
What kind of campaign lawyer
John?
do I have? We didn't trademark this, John. Like people could just steal my shit.
Yeah. They literally stole this. It's like
by the way, we researched Jared Evans, and we discovered he's a Democrat. So I'm not going to diss on a fellow Democrat. And like Kevin said, he's a Hoosier Democrat, and I've been around longer than him. So I guess this is like
imitation's the best form of flattery.
And I like being flattered.
Yeah.
So Jared Evans, we love you, and Jared Evans, we want you to win, and I want you to use this logo,
or at least reference the fact that you got it from Mayor Tom. Like, hey, I don't know if you saw my new logo.
By the way,
but,
like we're a team kind of thing, right?
There's a fighter up north.
Yeah,
Mayor Tom.
That's how it should go.
That's right.
I shouldn't find out like happenstance like I did this way. How did we find this out?
Just found out. I was looking at some Indianapolis news, and it popped up.
Like you can't. There is no like if Kevin flashed that to me from 20 feet away, I'd be like, "You're flashing my logo to me."
That's right. Stop flashing me.
So like, if we see this, you think, Jared, we're not going to call it out? Like,
I think you should come on the show and talk about this.
I'd be like,
or at least call
John, I think that's a great project for you,
Counselor Evans.
Yeah,
if you're listening,
we should. That'd be funny. We could ask him questions.
Come on.
Oh, did you make this up yourself, Jared? Did you get an artist like we did?
Somebody said not as many stars. Oh yeah. Jeff,
yeah. Okay.
Right.
I have 4 stars. He has 3 stars.
Jeff,
That's
you must
literally
be Evans's attorney.
The original 13 colonies.
It is literally the same exact glove. There's
we
not
only use 3 stars.
He put a filter on it.
He took a couple folds out of the glove. We have a couple folds that he does not.
Yeah.
Like age wrinkles.
You've
He's
been in
probably
more
younger than me.
fights.
I have.
Yeah, that's right.
They're like wrinkles.
Your
like,
boxing
like
glove
my
looks
face.
more used.
It is definitely more used. Jared's a young fighter, right?
Did you see the guy in chat? His name is Arid Jevons, who said not as many stars.
Arid Jevons.
Must be coincidence.
I still like yours better.
Okay, hold it. But if he's a fan of the show or a fan of me, or like if it is imitation, we just got to back off and just let them go, right?
Yeah, we'd like to know though.
But we're not going to have like regular Joe, running for whatever office using my damn logo without legal consequences. We're going to be filing lawsuits. We're going.
Well, if I ran as a Republican, you would sue me so fast.
Vesmar,
right?
Hell yeah,
Vesmar
dude.
for
it wouldn't even be
catcher.
appropriate. It wouldn't even be appropriate. Vesmar with a glove? Like, why would Vesmar have a glove on? Right?
Be a computer.
He's never fought a day in his life.
Keyboard Vesmar for Hammond with a keyboard.
Xbox.
It's like foot golf, like a foot in a soccer ball.
Oh boy.
It's like
well,
me getting a pedicure. Vesmar for Hammond.
It's just a foot. Is that what you're saying?
That's great, John.
So we're putting Jared Evans, a future city county councilor in Indianapolis, on notice.
We want to.
We're watching you, Jared. You better be good. If you're going to be using this logo.
Yeah, then that's a good thing. If you're going to use the boxing glove, you gotta.
Yeah,
you got to be
Hold
able
it.
to represent.
Let me ask you a question. This logo is undefeated. Did we use that last year?
We did use it a little bit in the
freaking stained our logo last
a
year.
little bit. Well, if
Jared
now
can have it.
We're
Yeah, Jared, this logo has one line.
logo.
Okay, just a little insight. There was an internal discussion between Tom and his campaign staff over whether to use it. Tom was very vehemently in favor.
You're
of
right.
it.
I was.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Because okay. So
As it turns out.
so maybe it's your fault. We
Yeah, because we were fighting for Northwest Indiana.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, so Jared, I was going to say this is an undefeated logo, but it's now no longer. It's got a great track record.
It's got a really good batting average,
Really
like
good.
850 or
yeah,
something. So.
super high. So don't be screwing up my logo.
Hall
Jared.
of Fame batting average.
So Jared, once you reach out to us here at LOCPOD, Steve at LOCPOD, he gets lots of pictures. Reach out to us. We're going to set you up because I want to ask you a couple questions about this logo.
Well, good. This goes right into kind of what we were talking about, your reality checks and kind of what's going on. So.
Yeah, I'm getting
Speaking
a lot of different reactions from people about like running for U.S. Senate.
Mm-hmm.
So like I had a friend a couple days ago. She was like, "It is so cool that you're doing this. Like, are you proud of yourself?" She was like, and I was like, just sort of, me. I'm not like, I don't really think about things like that.
Right.
I don't like dwell. I just keep moving forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, "You're going to be the Democratic nominee for U.S. Senate, like regardless how the election turns out. That's so cool." And I was like, "So that's really nice, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Once you win the primary.
I have to win the primary,
Right.
and if I win the primary, I have two great candidates right now running against me. And if I'm successful, then I'll be the nominee facing off against Todd Young in November of 2022.
That's something.
It's an honor.
If you look back and say like, wow.
It's an honor. I ran, like when I'm dead and, my tombstone will say former U.S. Senate candidate. Or maybe
former U.S. Senator.
Former U.S.
Come
Senator.
on.
Right, regardless of how it turns out.
That's right.
Right? So anyway, that was nice. And then another nice, so I'll give you two nice stories and then one crappy. Okay.
All right.
So the second one was a council person I don't always get along with. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to leave it out there. Okay. This council person and I were talking. He pulls me off to the side and says, I'm really proud of you. I said, really? He goes, yeah. Like, it's really cool what you're doing. I'm super proud. And this is a guy, honestly, we have not seen eye to eye over the years. And he's like, it's really cool. I think you really have a good shot. Like, people are looking for change right now, and you're definitely change. And like Barack Obama won Indiana, and you could win. You should just take a play out of his, a page out of his playbook. And I was like, from this council person, I was like, wow, really, really cool.
That's good. That's nice. It's kind of like good to get pumped up a bit.
No, it's surprising. Like, that's the thing. No matter what happens when somebody confronts me like this, I'm surprised. Like the first one, she's friendly with me and we've been friends.
Sure.
So like that one didn't surprise me. It was nice of her to say that. The second one surprised me. Okay. And I'm going to tell you another one where it didn't go so well. That surprised me also. I'm not going to give away the location because it would give away who I was talking to. So I'm just going to say it's a very crowded place I'm at.
All right.
Very crowded, like thousands and thousands of people. Okay.
Tens of thousands.
Okay.
All right.
So it's very crowded. And it's once you're in your location, you don't want to get up and change because you have to go through thousands of people to another part. And like, I'm just going to leave it wide open about where I am during this. Okay.
Right.
But like, I knew this person was there and he wanted to see me at his family there.
All
Okay.
right.
So he's like, hey, why don't you come over when you get a chance to say hi? And I'm like, sure, I'll wait until a certain point in time when it's easier. I'm not giving away where this took place. We're doing a story later on. I'm going to be vague about where I was because I do not want to give away who the person is.
Sometimes these are.
Yeah, this is a good situation, but I don't want to embarrass the person. Okay?
It's important to tell the story, but not necessarily
That's right. So if I seem like I'm being vague, there's a reason for it.
All right.
So I like get up, and it's being honest, it's a pain in my ass to do this.
Sure.
I don't want to do it. I'm having a perfectly good time where I was, okay? But I'm like, I got a job to do. So I'm sort of working even though I'm totally at leisure time, right?
Sure.
So I'm like, I'm going to go see this person and their family. I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to be a good, candidate. And then I'm going to go sit back down and enjoy myself, okay?
Okay.
So I go through the crowd and I find this person and his family and we have a nice discussion, okay? And then my friend breaks off to the side with me where it's just him and I talking. The family's still talking amongst themselves. And it's just him and me. And he says, what the hell makes you think you're going to have a chance in this race? And I'm like, what? And he says...
It's uplifting, John.
Yeah. He goes, you couldn't even beat Frank Mervan. What makes you think you're going to beat Todd Young? And I'm just like... This is like a friend, by the way. Like, friendly. Like,
do you think he was just trying to, get you angry and,
It worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah, dude. I'm like... Fuck you, man.
Wow.
I fucking walked across this fucking crowd to see you, and this is how I'm fucking treated? Like, I was pissed, but I didn't. I sat there like a good boy, like, smiling, and I was like, dude, like,
it's a
it was a
different
freaking
race.
pandemic right in the middle of my goddamn race. I was winning, and there was a pandemic.
Let me tick off the
like,
reasons.
Right. Like, seriously? But, like, I was... That sucked.
Yeah.
That was like it's a person,
I mean,
honestly, that should have known better. Like, because that's not nice to say to anybody. He's like, you have no chance, dude. Like,
not really uplifting.
Why are you wasting your time? Like, obviously, I was a little ticked about
Aggravated.
that. And I'm like, man,
Yes.
this sucks, dude. I walk all the way across this freaking crowd to go talk to this guy and be nice to his
I got a
family, and then
text
the
from you
guy
about it.
the guy kicks me right in the gonads.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Yeah. So I'm getting a lot of different different viewpoints.
Different viewpoints about the candidacy. I mean, I think that, the thing of it is you're going to hear different things all around the state, right? But I think what your point is like, this is a friend, right? This is somebody that
was somebody,
Is
honestly.
Is it a friend?
Good question, Joe. Good question,
Well,
Joe.
A friend wouldn't make you walk across a crowded area to tell you that. They could have texted
See,
you.
like, there's a disparity here. I'm a poor guy. I'm not poor, but I'm not rich. The person I'm talking with is very, very wealthy.
maybe wealthy people just think they can.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you.
Maybe the very wealthy.
There is a
think
little
they can
bit
just-
like, because even though we're friends,
Donald Trump's very wealthy.
I have friends that
He said
have
whatever he wanted.
I have friends that have dough, right?
Yeah.
And I don't have dough. Like, Marissa and I are very blue collar, upper blue collar. Let's
You
acknowledge.
guys are doing well, I think.
That's fine, okay? But like we're upper, yeah, we have
Sure.
two good jobs though. She's a judge, by the way, and she makes damn good money. I'm a mayor. Between the two of us, we do all right. But we're not rich, okay? Like the person I'm talking to is like got bucks. Okay?
Generational wealth.
Yes, good point. All right, so like I think if you're in a position like that, he's like, fuck this guy. I can say whatever I want. Eat it.
Well,
eat it. I think you're going to lose.
I know
think
the
you're wasting
guy.
your time.
I know the guy, and he's the type of guy who does speak his mind.
Okay.
So,
But is that mean? I thought it was mean.
I think it's not appropriate to say that to
This
you.
is a guy that's probably not listening to the show, so I feel free.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say
I don't
who
think
it
it's
was.
appropriate to say it to you because it's like,
Dude, I thought it sucked, especially considering I'm like sitting there kissing his ass in front of his family.
well, I mean, I think it's.
I'm literally kissing his ass. I came across a freaking crowded venue to see him and his family for the only reason just to like impress his family. Like, hey, he's like, hey, dude, I got a mayor coming over here to kiss my butt in front of my family, and it's like,
I think the appropriate thing to probably bring up would be like, do you really think you can beat Todd Young, but not bring in you couldn't even beat Frank?
Yeah.
Because that's got nothing to effing do with this race.
Oh.
Okay.
Was
that's
that
the thing
whole conversation though? Like,
yeah, it was basically.
yeah, because then Tom
weird.
left.
Let's say I was in sort of a hurry because
Yeah.
there was things going on that I don't want to divulge
Sure.
because it would give away where I was. Okay, so like let's say I spent 5 minutes with the family, 3 or 4 minutes with him after, 10 minutes beginning to end from when I get there. Okay, and the whole last part of the conversation is telling me what a shitty candidate I am, that I have no chance whatsoever, and I couldn't even beat Frank. If I can't beat Frank, what makes me think?
I mean,
can
I don't
beat-
think bringing up the past race is appropriate. I mean,
Well, I'm just telling you what happened, dude.
No, I know.
Like,
I'm
I'm
just
not
saying,
like-
I mean, I don't think there's a problem if somebody says to you, like, how are you going to beat Todd Young? Tell me, what do you really think you can beat him? I mean, that's one
Right.
thing versus like, because you lost this other race, now how do you think you can
Which
win? That
tells
doesn't make
me,
any
like,
sense.
basically, you're a crappy candidate.
Well, that's
like
what he's
you couldn't
trying-
even beat Frank. And to this guy, because I know this guy is like Big R.
I was going to say that's one
Big R.
other.
He's
thing
a big
here
R.
Is he was a Trumper. He was a big R.
Big R.
So
he's probably like, to him, Frank Mervan is the epitome of liberal Democrats.
Sure.
So he's like, this guy, Frank Mervan, is horrible. From this guy, that's what he's thinking. I don't think that. I
Right.
think Frank did a good job for Hammond.
Yep.
And I'm supporting Frank when he runs for re-election. I'm making that clear. But to this guy, I think he's thinking, damn, Frank Mervan, you couldn't even beat this guy.
He's more liberal than Tom, and Tom couldn't.
Right. If you can't beat this guy, then what makes you think you have a chance against
Todd
Young? Excellent.
John,
Todd
we need some
Young.
music for that. We gotta get that every time we say Todd Young, a choir of angels, John.
Dude. But like, just to show you what a good candidate I am, I did not tell him to go fuck himself. Right?
Did you tell his
until he got on the
family that he's a
podcast?
shitty
No,
human being?
I acted like a freaking
Champ.
I got kicked right in the gonads,
Yeah.
and I sat there with a flat stone look on my face, and I shook everybody's hand.
That's
and I
called
left.
18 years of being a mayor. Yeah.
No, because mayors actually defend themselves.
Well, but I've seen you at times where you have to bite your tongue when a resident comes up to you, and
Okay.
you know you've done a good
Well,
job.
if I
doing
am
that.
in a mayor position and a resident's complaining about something in the city, being professional,
Mm-hmm.
even being somewhat unprofessional, but it's clearly within my realm of job, I'm not going to respond like that.
Right.
But I've had people as mayor, I'm like, hey, get out of my face.
I agree.
Like, this is not
I've seen
working.
that too.
Right?
I've seen that too.
But like this one. Like this one, for instance. Want to be mayor for a day?
These are great stories.
Okay, how about this one? Saturday morning, I'm at home. Okay, it's 7:30 in the morning. This
Okay.
is within the last couple.
You probably
months.
got your coffee, you're reading your paper.
Literally, like
got your glasses
Marissa's
on.
awake. I'm not. I mean,
Slippers.
I'm awake. Marissa's awake. The kids are not.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody's home. Dogs. The whole thing. Right.
Come on.
Like a cop knock. It like
7:30?
7:30 in the morning. Right. And I'm like, what the hell? We don't get knocks on the door. Right.
Right.
And I go and I look out and it's a gentleman,
Mhm.
like 40 something.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm like,
Great.
was this dude selling something? Like,
Right.
what the hell is he doing
7:30
here?
a.m.
Like,
at the
and
mayor's
first
house.
off, like in my neighborhood, cops are pretty edgy of people walking up to my house.
Sure.
Like, I'm the mayor.
Right.
I got weirdos. Right.
Right.
So I'm like,
Every day you get weird mail.
right. So I'm like, okay. And I like open the door. I'm like, hey, what's going on? He's like, hey, mayor, how's it going? I'm like, good. Like,
Good morning.
right. 7:30. You're knocking on my door. Are you selling something? He's like, no. Do you have a second? And I'm like, I'm the mayor. And I'm like, mother,
Yeah.
but like, I'm the mayor, even though you just don't go up to the mayor's house and knock on the damn
It's
door.
inappropriate.
And I'm just like, whatever. So I like walk out because I'm not bringing this dude into my house. I don't know
course.
who he is.
Yeah.
So I like open the door and I go out and Marissa's like, Tom, you okay? And I'm like, I got it, just a sec. And I go out there and Marissa's like, what the hell is going on? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I go out there and this guy is like, this is totally unfair what happened to me and blah, 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 blah. And I'm
Wow.
like, who are you? And he's like, my name is so-and-so. And I'm like, yeah. I have 81,000 people that live in my city, dude. Like,
Right.
who the hell are you?
And
he's
1,000
like,
employees.
He's like, yeah, you fired me yesterday. And I'm like,
Oh my God.
I didn't fire you yesterday. Like, you got fired yesterday by people that work for me.
I don't even know about you
I don't
being
even
fired.
like. I would hear about it,
did?
like, right? And I'm like, what are you doing on my doorstep? Well, I think it's unfair. So and so's racist, and this and this and this and this and this is. And by the way, I already know about this situation because I get briefed whenever somebody gets fired, not because they're going to knock on my damn door.
Right.
I get briefed because, hey, we're just letting you know this is what we're doing. What do you think about this? We get corporate counsel involved. We make decisions. And so I basically surmise this guy's pounding on my door Saturday morning, 8:30, 7:30 in the morning, because he got fired yesterday. And he thinks that's going to help the situation.
That's probably
Like, I'm going to go
bad idea.
interrupt the mayor's family, interrupt
Hold
the
on
mayor's
a minute.
morning, and tell him, like, by the way, I already knew about this guy, and he had a horrible track record, like missed work. And we have documentation. Like, when you're in public works, where this guy was, we have a system that's been vetted for decades, and this system works. And if you don't show up to work, it's all red. And this dude was all red, and they fired him because he's just a crappy employee,
Didn't show up
right?
for work.
So this guy's
But he
like,
showed up at your office.
I'm showing up to the
Or your
mayor's
house,
house.
I'm sorry,
I'm
your
showing up to the mayor's house to appeal to him.
Not
he
a
did,
good, not a good work attendance record, but 1 for 1 at your house.
He did not get rehired.
Why
No,
did you
seriously.
open the door?
What am I
What are
going
you
to
going to do? Let him keep knocking to wake the whole house
He
up?
knew
the
I
dogs
was there.
are
The
barking?
dogs are-
Anybody
dogs
knocks
are
on my
barking.
door, I pretend like I'm not home.
But the dogs are barking, and
Yes.
it's like
kids are
7:30.
sleeping. I mean,
Well, first off, I'm curious. I'm like, so I look out and I'm like, what's this dude doing on my doorstep?
Right.
I don't know him, right? So like, yeah, that's the mayor.
well, that's a
I'm
Saturday.
Glad the location of our studio is a mystery.
Yeah, the Batcave.
It's a back
Yeah,
end.
yeah. Nobody knows where it is now.
All right. Well, we've got some.
Hey, real quick,
yeah.
thanks yesterday before we move on to
Sure.
ads. I want to thank the Hammond City Council
That was
yesterday
exciting.
by a unanimous vote again. So we had 2 unanimous votes from the council to a resolution on how we were going to spend our ARP money. We had 38 million of the 51 million we received. which is
American
70%
Rescue Plan.
75% of the money was voted 9-0 by resolution and 9-0 yesterday to appropriate the money to just a number of great causes across the city of Hammond, infrastructure projects that are going to be huge for our city.
Yeah, Mayor, I was going to say that the one real exciting thing about that is I don't think there's a lot of cities around the state that have actually passed their plan and got an appropriation ordinance in place. I think Bloomington's one of them. I know Indianapolis was real close to getting theirs done, so congrats. It's a big deal.
Yeah, 9-0. So we're ready to go. We're literally... The next phase for us is bidding out the projects.
Going to keep a lot of people working, especially in the construction
I want to get
industry.
them bid out before everybody else.
Yeah, because I think that's Dean, city engineer said that. He wants to get it bid out, so it's on the calendar for next year. So if because everybody else is going to be following suit shortly, and if we're already out there. That's right. This is tens of millions of dollars of infrastructure work. So
and that's just us.
Exciting. Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine once everybody else starts bidding their projects, how busy? By the way, the next 2 years in America, and especially in where I live, in Northwest Indiana, and Indiana in general, the next 2 years are going to be construction season.
Yeah, if you're in the construction trades or if you're thinking about like, what do I do after high school?
Building trades.
Get into, and you don't want to go to college, get into the trades.
Seriously, you'll make good money, and you're going to be working. You're going to be working, and if they pass the infrastructure bill finally, if they ever do get that done in D.C., like we're going to have even 4 or 5 years of just good infrastructure work going on in
well needed,
America.
By the way. I mean, we all know where our infrastructure
I'm sick and tired
is.
of rebuilding Iraq and Afghanistan and not rebuilding Indiana. I'm sick and tired of that. It's time to get back to work and rebuild the Hoosier state. So.
Good job. Well, congrats on that. That's a big deal for Hammond and a big deal for the region.
Thanks. All right. You ready to get rolling?
Yeah, Jill, what do you got?
Same as every Tuesday.
Let's hear it.
Let's go.
You're listening to Left of Center, where we cover everything from politics to important events of the day in the Midwest and the nation, all while having way too much fun while doing it. If you can't, if you can't get enough of us, follow us on Facebook at Left of Center Podcast or on Twitter at LOCPOD. If you can't listen in live, you can download our episodes on the Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio apps. Just search Left of Center and look for the red and blue logo. Don't forget to subscribe and rate on every single one of those applications. If you'd like to advertise on our show, send an email to steve@lockpod.com.
We're going to blow your mind with this show today. I'm going to have after ads, I'm going to have a story that's walking the edge of, it's going to be interesting, but it's going to be edgy. You agree,
I think
Kevin?
it's reality, right?
It's definitely reality. It's going to shock you that we're going to have this story on the show. It's about something that legitimately happened to me within the last 6 months. I'm not going to get into details because the next one, if you thought the last one we talked about was edgy, this next one is edgy.
Whoa.
Edgy. And another thing that similarly that happened, it's a racial incident that happened to me 10 years ago at least, maybe 12, but it's similar to the one that just recently happened to me. And I'm going to talk about it. And I think I reacted the wrong way.
All right.
I'm mad at myself. And I've been mad at myself for a while now. And we're going to talk about this, what happens when somebody says something that's racial in front of you.
All right.
What are you supposed to do as a white guy?
We're going to find out.
I mean,
who's our premier sponsor? Because otherwise, we're going to go for 15 minutes.
We're going to go right into it.
Yeah, it's gonna. I could tell. I could see it in his eyes.
Powering America.
There we go.
That's who our premier sponsor is.
Pow!
Bam!
Oh, John, I like
Powering America. Section 4
of the code of the
I was going
Title
so
18 of Section.
Yeah, right. Season 4 is powered by our premier sponsor, Powering America.
Pow!
With the explosive growth of renewable energy in America today, call Powering America to meet your needs. For renewable energy in your home or office, including electric vehicle chargers and solar power solutions, trust the electrical professionals of who? Powering America, that's who. Visit poweringnorthwestindiana.org. That's poweringnorthwestindiana.org.
Thank you, Powering America, our premier sponsor.
Pow, pow.
I like that, John.
Yeah,
So
I'll get the
different
timing
than
right.
so different than end to end.
I know.
It's like the opposite.
This
It's
is
the
way
exact
better.
opposite.
This is in your face.
John's gone opposite. Grisolia's Concrete. In your face. Grisolia's Concrete was voted number 1 in the Times Best of the Region 2020 and 2021. Grisolia's Concrete specializes in all of your concrete projects, and they've been using the original cement finish in the
California style.
since 1972, and also offers that was like a muted California style.
Yeah, I almost forgot.
Since 1972, and also offers stamped and colored concrete. For more information or a project quote, call Bernie at Grisolia's Concrete 219-659-4127 while the construction season is still out there. You can still get your concrete projects done. Hurry.
Kelly loves my whisper. Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you. Wow.
That's a creepy whisper.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah. Was that Kelly Talon? Or?
No, Kelly Reed.
Oh, thank you.
Come
Kelly.
on. Top fan, Kevin.
I wasn't looking at the chat. I apologize. Just wanted to say
Midwest
Phil-
Air Duct Cleaning. At Midwest Air Duct Cleaning, your health is our number one priority. We are dedicated to providing top-notch quality services at an affordable price. Our technicians have been trained to shelter the members of your household from potential airborne contaminants. If you would like more information on how to protect the lungs of your home, call Marinko and his team at 219-671-8868 today.
Calumet Brewery wants to tell you about Michelob Ultra. Michelob Ultra is a superior light beer with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, all while being one of the fastest-growing brands in the region. Or try Ultra Pure Gold, an organic light lager with only 2.5 carbs and 85 calories, brewed for your healthy lifestyle. Enter to win a Michelob Ultra golf bag. Did I mumble that or a little bit? Marbles in my mouth? Enter to win a Michelob Ultra golf bag through calbrew.com. Check out Calumet Brewery's Facebook page for details.
I always think it's funny when I hear organic light lager for your healthy lifestyle.
It's like smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, right. When I was running my Chicago Tri, I was drinking that organic light beer the whole time.
Ultra Pure Gold.
That's right.
Some call it orgasmic light lager.
Really?
There you go.
Organic. You should. It's just one letter.
By the way, so Doty, I
just saw that,
here.
John. I just saw that.
Doty's saying they're 100 electricians short
right now.
Apply at ibewlocal697.com.
Powering America.
100.
That's awesome.
100 now. John, this is before these projects get
right.
online. Yeah.
Right.
So I imagine if you guys could ask Doty, poweringnorthwestindiana.org
would
be the way to apply. Like if your kid was interested in becoming an electrician.
And
obviously,
look, they also said ibewlocal697.com.
Okay.
So check it out. If your son or daughter is looking for something outside of high school and doesn't want to go to college, I'm telling you, the trades are the way to go.
Agree. I was a young electrician when I got out of high school.
Yep.
And I'm glad I learned it. I still understand it. I just don't tell that to Marissa. She'll have me fixing shit all over the house.
Like these lights.
Well, she's like, can you change that light? I'm like,
Nope,
I don't know. It's dangerous.
Better get an electrician from Powering America in here.
Yeah, I have a guy that could do that.
It's not nuclear powered. I don't know how to do it.
That's right.
Sorry.
That was nuclear electricity.
DC current, Marissa.
See, that was nuclear electricity I was dealing with. This is straight electricity. So.
Straight electricity.
Straight.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon. Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard of Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia. De todo corazón.
Ta-da. Thank you, Eli.
I can't wait to hear about this topic. You got me on the edge of my seat.
This is a rough one. Okay.
John is fired up. Was that just caffeine or cocaine or what this morning, John?
I can't remember the last time I've touched caffeine, guys.
All right. Didn't say anything about cocaine, though. As for caffeine, it's been quite a long time.
Listen, straight up. I'm just being honest because I see a lot because I'm mayor, and I every time somebody in my city dies, okay? Anybody that does cocaine or heroin
or
even pills that you get off the street nowadays is you got a death wish. That's just straight up. Like, if it didn't come out of the ground, I wouldn't trust it.
Or you have an addiction that you should get help for.
Yeah, because like what's going to happen, and people that do cocaine, you know, I'm proud to say I've never done anything like that. But people that do this, if they get the wrong line, they're dead, straight up.
Same thing with heroin. Yeah, and if you have fentanyl, I mean, you're
dead.
You are basically saying, I trust the guy on the street,
that's right,
my street dealer or whoever supplied him to make sure that the fentanyl that's laced with my heroin is of an appropriate amount.
I had somebody I knew that was doing cocaine, and they thought it was cocaine, and him and his buddy did a line of what they thought was cocaine, and it wasn't cocaine. It was fentanyl.
And guess what happened?
They both died.
They both were
on
dead.
The spot.
Yeah.
And they were like my age, both of them. I knew one of them fairly well. The other one I didn't know at all. But like they dropped dead within seconds of ingesting.
They were found dead the next day.
So anybody
that's
doing cocaine, this is Tom's public service announcement.
PSA from Tom McDermott.
Like, and you know, there's some countries, if you're a coke addict, there's some countries that will give you like pure cocaine, and because it's been regulated by the state. We're not one of those countries. So you have to rely on Joe Blow, the dealer down the street, and Joe Blow sometimes cuts his cocaine with fentanyl, and it could kill people. And it does every day. In Hammond, every day.
Yep. So unfortunately, we get updates on this.
Yeah,
it happens weekly.
It's good for me. But like, and it's my job to tell people that if you know anybody that's doing drugs off the street, like pills, like cocaine, heroin.
And another thing is, don't think your community is immune from this.
No,
I don't care what
your community is
you're in.
not
I don't
immune.
care if you're a rich community,
That's right.
a urban community, whatever it is. It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
This was not the edgy topic we were going to talk about.
No, not at all.
Even
but
though
it's
it's
a
somewhat edgy.
good public service announcement.
Because I didn't want people to think we joked around about cocaine because
No.
that stuff kills people. It straight up kills people. Maybe 10, 15 years ago, we didn't have to worry about it. But now with fentanyl, you just can't do it or you'll die. I mean, eventually you may get 99 clean loads, but the 100th wouldn't be, and then you die.
And it's the same reason we're part of the opioid litigation. It's because this stuff was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so here we are.
Yes.
This is a segment that I've been thinking about doing for months. This is something that happened within the last year. I'm not going to narrow it down because I am not going to divulge the person that said this. Okay? All I'm going to say about the person that said this is they were very powerful.
Okay.
More powerful than me for sure in Indiana. Let's
Okay.
just say that. There's a leader of lots of people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
You piqued my interest.
okay.
Are we
So-
sure we're going here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm nervous about it though.
Here we go.
So I'm in a crowded venue.
You have a rocket ship sound.
And it's like Republican leaning.
Okay.
I'm like sort of out of place as a Democrat in this venue. Okay. Like I
Does the
wasn't.
person know you're a Democrat?
Yeah.
They do?
Everybody
Okay.
knows.
So this is not you mean people know that you're there. You're
Yeah.
there. Okay.
And I'm
got it.
like the turd in a punch bowl kind of thing. Okay. It's like I'm literally like outnumbered
analogy.
99-1. Everybody knows who I am, and they're like, "Look at who's here!"
Hmm.
Like it's Mayor Tom, the Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, and I know
Who let him in?
basically, but everybody's being nice to me.
Sure,
Don't get me
of course.
wrong; it's not like they're being mean. They're
Of
being
course.
nice. They're probably happy I'm there.
Sure.
I'm happy. No, I'm uncomfortable because when I'm in situations like that, I know that I'm the Democrat. You know what I'm saying? But so I'm not super comfortable, and I'm like looking for people I know and just trying to be comfortable.
Say hello.
Yeah.
Enjoy your night.
Like, hey, I'm here. You know, I'm supporting the cause, kind
Yeah.
of thing, right? So I'm trying to like get this right. So if I'm reading a little bit off my notes, so it's super loud in there. Okay, like you had to talk really loud to each other, and like if Kevin and I are talking and Jill and John are close by, you probably can't hear what we're talking about. It's so loud.
It's one of those places.
One
All
of
right,
those
so it's
places.
loud.
So like to talk to somebody, you literally have to be talking to them loud,
in their ear almost.
right at them, right?
Got 'em,
Like
okay.
anybody that's within 3 feet away cannot hear us.
Right, we've been in
It's
those
that loud,
situations,
right?
right,
Okay. I already said amongst a group of Republicans, a lot of drinking going on.
Mm-hmm.
I was not drinking. I got there late.
All right.
A lot of drinking was going on before I got there. You could tell.
Okay, so everyone's lubed up.
Loose. Everybody's loose,
Loose
and
lips.
happy.
Loose lips
and
sink
it's
ships.
loud. Everybody's jovial. You know, this is post-COVID-ish. So like we're like not really masking. This is one of our first times coming out kind of thing, right? Yeah. So everybody's sort of listening to the program. I'm just going to say it's a program.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody's sort of listening. And I'm next to this big time dude.
Yeah, bigwig.
Big time.
Okay.
He's like
Yeah,
super wealthy, super important, leader of
many.
thousands.
All right.
Okay.
Sure.
We're just going to leave it there.
Leave it there.
Okay.
Probably a good idea.
We're talking about America at this point. And I'm not even a candidate because this is a while ago. Okay. So I'm not a candidate because if I was a candidate, there's no way in hell I'd have been in that room. They would have literally killed me. So like, I'm like a candidate for office.
Your tracker would have been.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So like, I wasn't even a threat to anybody. I'm just the freaking harmless mayor of Hammond.
All
right. I'm actually nervous.
All right.
I've never been nervous on the pod before. Okay. So I'm sitting there and the topic conversation gets to like current day and, you know, nobody could see
Current day America.
And we're sort of, I'm in the wrong room to be like boisterous, right? It's like, this is not a place
Your opinions on current day America aren't going to match up.
I'm like outnumbered 99-1, right? So I'm like just being quiet, being happy Tom, like respectful Tom. And this dude that's big time says, basically the problem with today is everybody is a bunch of N lovers.
Oh, that's always.
But he didn't say N.
Right.
He said the word.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and it was no doubt he said it. And then he doubled down and said it again, talking about like certain personalities in America and how
Said it again.
like white kids are basically like emulating him and how like it's a disgrace.
So this guy's all about.
He like doubles and triples down on
double
it.
down racial.
He's literally
straight
like
up
naming
racial.
names. Like, yeah, you got a bunch of white kids acting like this, and like
Wow.
this is a disgrace, and like this is what the problem is in America is we're a bunch of N lovers. But he didn't say N, and I'm just
Always
like,
a fun situation to be in.
and I'm like, I'm like, like, I don't know what to say.
Right.
First off,
you're not going to laugh.
I'm not even friends
You're
with
not
it.
gonna
No, I
agree.
did not. Certainly did not laugh. I despise language like that. I just don't talk like that. My kids don't talk like that. My kids have friends that are African American. I have friends that are African American. Like, I grew up with friends that were African American. Like, it's everything.
I've been around you 18 years or almost 20 years, and I know that about you.
I don't stand anything for that at all. Never have. Never will. It's not the way I grew up. It's not the way I raised my kids. Like, I live in Hammond, and Hammond's a very diverse city, and I love living in a diverse city. I think it's good for my kids.
It's good for America.
It's good for all of us.
Yep.
So, like,
agreed.
To say that to me is, like, I'm the wrong guy to say that to. So I'm not going to participate in that conversation.
Right.
But the thing I was mad at myself for.
But you're in this weird situation, right, where you're, like, around a bunch of people you're not familiar with, and this guy comes at you like that.
Yeah. And I'm already, like, uncomfortable because I'm, like, the only Democrat in the whole place in a big room with lots of Republicans.
Although I would imagine there's got to be other people. I mean, I would hope and I would think that a super, super, super majority of the people there are not going to put up with that either. But who knows?
He didn't say it to everybody. He said it to me.
Right.
So, like.
So what do you do?
I did nothing, like a loser. And I was super mad at myself when I left. I was like, what do you do in a spot like that? What am I supposed to do? Should I have punched him? Should I have said, don't say that word to me? It was like I was mad at myself because I froze. I literally froze when he said it.
It's
I'm
so
like,
shocking, right?
It was totally shocking, dude. It freaking it was like a punch to my gut. And I was just like I couldn't believe he said it to me. And he doubled down and I'm just like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I can say that
I'm mad at myself
unfortunately,
because I should have said something. I should have been ballsy enough to say, dude, why would you say that to me?
Yeah.
I should have been ballsy enough to do that.
Or I don't agree with it.
I froze. And I'm not proud of it.
And I was going to say, I mean, unfortunately, I have to say that I've been in a situation similar that those things come up, right? And it's not appropriate. It's like shockingly inappropriate. And sometimes I don't know what to do. And I think I need to get better at confronting those situations.
So like 10 years earlier, something similar happened in a similar type of situation, except for this one, we were at a restaurant. It was 4 of us, 2 people on my team, me and one other person from my team, and 2 people from another team. Let's just leave it at that. I knew everybody at the table, and we were talking, and everybody could hear what everybody said. And this is back when we were talking about putting a water park, hotel water park at Cabela's, back in that era, right? And this person is a bigwig. This is the 10-year ago conversation. The person I'm talking to at this restaurant is like a big-time guy, big-time developer, knows what he has this aura, also very wealthy, funny enough. He has this aura about him that's like, I get shit done. I'm rich. I'm Johnny on the spot.
Say what I want to say.
I can say whatever the hell I want. I don't give a shit who I offend. I'm like wealthy and I'm white and I'm just telling you what the facts are. So we're at this table and we were talking about the Cabela's and the water park, which unfortunately never happened. Although we were having one down the street, knew why, but we won't get into that right now. So I'm just like excited about this potential development we have, that we're going to have a hotel water park just like they have at the other Cabela's locations. And this guy is like, will not work in Hammond. And I'm like, why? And he goes, would you allow your kids to swim next to a bunch of African-American kids? He said that to me at this table.
What?
Yes, dude. And we're in Hammond when he says this. And I'm like, yes.
First of all, that's, I mean,
By the way,
is so weird.
And
that is so bizarre.
And I go, yes. I go, I do. Like my kids do swim with their
Come to my
African-American.
pool at my house.
Go to my house right now. There's like a bunch of kids that are multicultural swimming in my pool today, right?
That is
But like I confronted
crazy.
him and I made it really uncomfortable. And by the way, the rest of that conversation was chilled because I was like, yes, I do.
Oh.
And I did the right thing 10 years ago. And I confronted him. But like, so 10 years ago, I was ballsy and brave enough to like blow up a conversation and make it uncomfortable. By the way, we never did business with that person 10 years ago. We ended up getting stuff done. We did not work with him. I'm not saying it's because of that conversation, but I ruined that dinner or that breakfast.
I mean, I think as Americans, we really have to step up and confront stuff like that, because if we don't, and I'm just as much at fault as anybody, like you have to confront when you hear something that's that offensive.
I'm just gonna be like, don't ever say that.
Yeah,
word to
get
me.
away from me. I don't want to hear that.
I'm so mad at
John.
myself.
I mean, okay, so I got a question for John. John, we've talked about like cancel culture and stuff. Doesn't something like that just deserve some cancel? I mean, right? I mean,
that's rough, right, John?
Yeah,
John, I swear to God.
And I don't mean to put you on the spot,
John,
but
I swear on a stack of Bibles, those two situations happened to me. One of them was over 10 years ago. The other one was within the last year. Let's just leave it at that.
I think canceling anyone for something, it would have to be like
ridiculous. That's pretty ridiculous.
I'm not saying it's
But
not.
It was private. It was private. It wasn't
True.
public.
Well, I'm not saying you're outing him. You're not going to like say this person.
Like Louis C.K., you know,
Right.
who
Right.
got canceled,
Well,
said he did things out in public,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like these are private conversations. And I imagine when they're dropping these pearls of wisdom on me, they think are pearls of wisdom. I imagine they think I'm like reciprocal.
That's what I think.
Yeah, they're like, we're part of the
There is definitely a segment of white male population that thinks all white males think the
feel this
same
way.
way.
Exactly.
So I can say whatever the heck I want to say because it's a bunch of white guys.
That's right.
Yeah,
I think
that's
Kevin.
true.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think he just naturally assumed because I'm a white male.
Oh, you're a white guy. You
of
think
course
the
I
same
feel
way
the same way about
America.
America that he does.
Yeah.
This big wealthy boss basically, and then the other one 10 years earlier, another big wealthy Republican boss, and they probably just assume we all feel the same way. But 10 years ago, I had enough balls to blow up the conversation, and it was so awkward. We literally like closed down business right after that. I was like, I do, and he got all uncomfortable, and I was sort of pissed. I'm like, I can't believe you said that to me. That was the decade ago one, and we never did business with them again. We blew up the conversation, but the one.
It may be a different situation.
Year,
like in the 10 years ago one, you're the mayor, you're kind of running the show at that thing, and maybe at this one, it's like so shocking because you're just in a group.
Yeah,
right.
And I was outnumbered like 99-1.
And you know what though, as we sit back and think, like
I was by myself.
I want to say to myself, if you're outnumbered 99-1, you still say something.
I agree, man. I agree. I freaking screwed up.
I think I could.
How many people were in that immediate conversation? Like
Which one?
Your circle, the most recent one.
Just him and me.
Oh, okay.
In the conversation.
Yeah.
But we were in a room of many.
But I don't think anybody would have been like,
if he says that, he wouldn't. Him down. He would not. Well, yeah, I could have just been like, dude, fuck you.
Right.
Don't fucking say that shit to me and walk away.
Have a good day.
By the way, like there would have been repercussions for Hammond had I done that.
Well.
Let's just say that this guy's powerful enough where.
But that's not a reason not to do it, right?
I agree, man. I agree. But I was like outmaneuvered. I don't know what's the word.
Maybe
I'm
I think.
there
To me,
was
I
a
think you were just
disparity.
shocked.
I was totally in shock. I was totally in shock. But there was also a power difference, a disparity in power. Like this guy's higher up on the food chain in private industry more than me, and it really bugs me that people still say that. It really does bug me. Like seriously, is that what we're saying? And
well, here
is that like I don't go to these functions very often that I was at. Is that how we talk to each other? So like if you're amongst a bunch of Republicans, you could say shit like that to each other.
I was listening to the Barack Obama Bruce Springsteen podcast. It's pretty interesting.
That was fucking brutal, dude.
No, well, you got to get into it a little more. You got to
I
get
tried
into it
to listen to it, dude.
Well,
it was brutal.
it's pretty intense and it's pretty serious. You got to listen to it more.
All right,
but I thought it was interesting.
The first episode was brutal.
Yeah, it gets better. Anyway,
I tried. I called Kevin. I'm like, I'm trying.
So
dude.
they get into this. They do one of the pods is on race, and President Obama says, it's no secret why people say things like that, and
they
obviously
do.
They feel like they have one over on you, even though they have no argument against you. They have no argument. They can't take issue with your argument. They think they can put you down by doing that, and they think they can put you in your place. And I think he's right about that.
I don't
it's
hear
like a power play
like
by people that are.
I don't hear people talk like that.
Threatened.
I just don't hear people talk like that.
I agree, but when they do.
But like when
That's
they
the
do,
reason.
it's just so shocking to me. But like, I'm embarrassed and mad at myself because I didn't have enough courage to blow that conversation up, like the one I did at the breakfast. Okay, I've messed up, and I thought it was something I wanted to talk about.
It's an interesting topic because it happens.
What do you think, Jill? Is it a tough conversation? Obviously.
How, as an adult, are you still using that word and you think it's okay?
This guy's big time too, Jill.
I just don't understand it. Like, what kind of bubble were you raised in?
But maybe that's part of the problem. He's big time, so people don't tell him, don't do that.
You know what the worst
and
part?
he needs to be told.
This guy's probably got 40 or 50% African Americans that work for him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe not that high. Let's say it's at least 33 to 40%.
Scary.
Of African. Yeah. Like if the workforce knew how this guy talked about African Americans in private, I don't think he'd be in that position anymore.
Well, I think it's good that we bring it up, and it's a good conversation to have, and it's good to bring it to the forefront.
I'm not putting up with that shit anymore, man.
All right.
Like I should have done it the other day. I should have blown that one up. I should have, and I messed up.
You learned your lesson.
Someone in chat. Oh, it's actually Tanisha. Hey, Tanisha.
Hey, Tanisha.
Love Tanisha.
Hi, Tanisha.
Sometimes the best response is none at all. Make the person uncomfortable.
Yeah, I did that.
I
I was clearly uncomfortable. Yeah. He doubled down, tried to explain his position again, and I was just sitting there like stunned, like I got punched in the face.
You're in headlights.
Yeah, like I got punched in the face,
right.
which I felt like I did. I didn't handle it the right way, Tanisha.
Is it, Kevin?
Yes.
What do you think? Is it cancel worthy?
I don't know.
If I would have
cancel
blown
in terms
John,
of like
John, if I would go public with that, this guy would be so screwed.
Well, I think
he's in such a high position that if a mayor said that this is what the guy said to me, he would be fired. Or he would be in major, major jeopardy with his job. No doubt about it. He's high enough where he would be in major jeopardy if I told people what he said to me.
John, I guess it all depends on what we define as cancel, right? Like, to me...
Well, like Tom said, they're fired. Like, their livelihood...
Dude, they
lose friends.
That's not cancel culture. That's your
repercussions.
Repercussions for what you
your
said.
actions.
But he didn't say it publicly. It's hearsay, really, when you think about it. He said it to me, and I'm saying it to the public. Well, I'm not telling you who it was because...
I'm not going to... I guess I'm not the type of person that would, like, when that would happen, I'd, like, go on... social media and post it or something. But at the same time, I think that person, to me, I've kind of written them off in a way. If that's the way
saw him
that person thinks.
Versus, look, man, that's
no. I
shitty
agree.
what you said.
I should say that. I would definitely. I need to get better at making sure if I'm in a position like that to say something.
That's what I should have done, John.
Yeah.
I saw the guy again about a month later. He was really awkward around me.
Good.
And I was really awkward around him. It was really awkward. Yeah, like I don't think him and I will ever be friendly with each other again. I'm not going to be friendly with him, of course, but I think he realizes that he stepped on his junk right in front of the mayor, Hammond, and he said something that was not reciprocated at all. And he's embarrassed probably to be around me, and he should be because he's a freaking racist pig.
Yeah, you should.
He's a racist pig. He really is.
Yeah.
And like I hope he listens to our show.
Oh.
He probably doesn't because he's too bigwig. He is. He's too high on it. Yeah.
We go to the people.
We go to the people.
All right. Well, that's a good topic, Mayor. Thanks for bringing that up. We're going to do some ads.
I've never been nervous on LOCPOD. Honest to God, I've never been nervous up until right before I told that story.
All right. Well, relax and do some ads.
We still got a good story at the end. We're going
to come back about U.S. Steel and talk about U.S.
shitting
Steel.
in our lake, literally.
How much crap in the lake is appropriate?
We got pictures, and we're going to talk about U.S. Steel shitting in our lake. So
stay tuned.
All right. Challenger Learning Center. Explore the far reaches of space and engage in hands-on learning at Challenger Learning Center of Northwest Indiana. Connecting with Challenger Northwest Indiana is easy. To learn more about Challenger Center and their upcoming events, visit clcnwi.com or connect on social media at Challenger NWI or on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.
Misprint. Bring out your new card, your new one. Misprint specializes in delivering the highest quality signs and printing and metal business cards on time and within budget. Misprint's experience in technology allows them to offer custom, commercial, on-demand printing and sign solutions you can count on. Rick Balzenberger and his team have served Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana for over 30 years. They have 2 convenient locations in Munster and Hammond. Misprint printing for all your card-carrying needs.
Want to hear a funny story about Misprint? So
Rick's happy with you?
No, he's not. Not with me. It's not my fault. There was a miscommunication. But Rick is working on my metal business cards, and these are the originals.
Right.
So, like, eventually people are going to be ordering this stuff. I promise you.
And the first one you had, the QR code was too small.
It's too detailed and too small so that when I show it to people, which is the whole purpose of the card, and you put your camera on it, it can't read it. It's too detailed. It's
okay.
like, and it doesn't.
So the solution was?
So we made a new one we talked about this on one of our shows.
Right.
We made the QR code larger.
Yes.
And Rick gave it to me, and the card looks great.
Yeah, you have it.
Where is it?
I do, but
All
I'm
right.
not going to bust it out.
All right.
But anyway, so I like take it to my buddy. And I'm like, hey, put your phone, flash it on here. And he flashes it on there, and he's like, dude, that is awesome. Your contact.
So it works.
Your contact information went right into my phone
Great
book.
job, Rick.
And I was like, great. And I said, let me see it. And he shows it to me, 7148, my old address. Like 15 years ago.
How can that even be?
I don't know. This is like my address like 15 years ago.
I
moved 2 doors away.
If you have your your information that way, in your phone, like
No.
it's had your phone
No.
that long.
It's a V card.
No.
V card.
Yeah,
I got
it's
my
a V
real
card.
I got my real address on my phone. Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Some
Then
people
how did
didn't.
it-
Some people, because they still live on the same street, so a lot of people still send mail to my old house.
Oh.
My neighbors that live there now always bring it over. They still get. So I call Rick. I'm like, hey, dude. The great thing is, no, I call Ray Escamilla, who does our QR code. I'm like, hey, dude, just go in there and like change it to 7134. No big deal. My new address. And he's like, I can't just change it. I have to change the QR code.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
So John, there's you can't like change the data in the QR code.
No.
Oh, wow.
I call up Rick. who's
Hey, Rick.
spent way too much time on 2 business cards. Way too much time. And I'm like, hey, man, the card works. He's like, awesome. That's great news. I busted my ass on it. I'm like, problem is, it's my old address, which sort of defeats the purpose of having a card. I want people to actually know my real address.
Like, you got to be kidding.
And he goes, okay, could Ray just change it? I'm like, no, he says he has to get a new QR code. And I swear to God, I thought Rick was going to start crying.
Oh, man,
he's like, you got to be
funny.
shitting me.
No.
I'm like, no, it's my old address, dude. And he's like, I'm literally, he's like, I thought he was going to start crying. He's like, you got to be shitting, man.
It cost
like,
him $3,000.
Yeah,
that's
time
like,
to make
I don't
a
know
new
how much
card.
these stupid cards
Nobody
cost,
else can
but-
work on these machines. I'm
Dude,
doing Tom
oh my
McDermott's
God.
third metal
It's
business
so-
card.
So I told him, this is the one, though. When we do this card, just print out like 20 of them. So like when I lose one,
Like, you're not
you know,
moving. You're
I'm
not
going to
moving.
lose. You know I'm going to drop it or somebody's going to steal it. Or right? I'm like, at least you have like 20 backups. So
All
we
right,
don't
there
have to
you
worry
go.
about this.
All
Great.
right.
And now U.S. Steel isn't going to sell them any materials with where we're going with
not
the
after,
show.
Not after our next segment. So
Our next sponsor is
Byway Brewery. Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and an outside patio. Brewing equipment offers a unique backdrop for your private event like weddings, reunions, and corporate parties. We are conveniently located just off of 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Come on by and enjoy Byway's award-winning beers and unbeatable menu.
Tri Electronics wants to be your complete communications provider. Tri Electronics has been a leader in this industry for more than 55 years. They're dedicated to assisting their clients with their systems integration needs. They've got expertise and experience to provide superior results for a wide variety of projects. For more information, call Tri Electronics today at 800-722-6793. Thank you to our sponsors, including our premier sponsor, Power in America.
There you go. All right. Let's talk a little Lake Michigan
Crap in the water.
crap in the water. The brown trout level was extremely high yesterday.
You got them all out. You got all the analogies out today.
We have
This is
pictures
fecal
we're going to
matter.
put up for the people that are watching on YouTube or Facebook Live. John, could you put up a couple of pictures that were taken by drone? Because
So-
U.S. Steel did their best to block off that area to the public so that you couldn't get back there and see what they did to Lake Michigan yesterday.
Look at that.
Yeah, so just so people know, this happened in Portage, Indiana. It's the county to the east of where we are. It's right on Lake Michigan. As some folks know, in this part of the country, steel making, it's the number one steel making area in the country and has been for years and years and years.
So U.S. Steel, which is supposed to peacefully coexist with the beauty of Lake Michigan, which is where we recreate, where we have tourism. Literally, U.S. Steel is adjacent to a national park now.
The newest national park in the country.
Right. So they're adjacent to the national park. They're supposed
dunes.
to peacefully coexist with the jewel of the Midwest, which
Indiana
is the
Dunes.
Great Lakes, which is where we get our drinking water in Hammond. And we sell drinking water to the Chicagoland area, all across Northwest Indiana. So we get our water from here. We recreate from here. This is the national park. This is, tourism, the whole thing. And of course, U.S. Steel's been there for 100 years. So we need to peacefully coexist.
They're important. Industry is important.
Yesterday, something went wrong. No, excuse me. Sunday, something went wrong. And they released, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of gallons of sewage right into Lake Michigan.
It's a pleasant sight.
Literally,
Whoa.
you could tell it's just pure shit.
Brown liquid.
It's brown liquid that's just all over Lake Michigan, all over the Portage Marina area, all spewing out into past the break wall, out into Lake Michigan.
Would you call that a plume?
It is nasty. It's all pure E. coli. Like, obviously, nobody could use the beaches. Probably still can't. Obviously, this settles into the place where we end up pulling our drinking water from.
It's too far away.
So Kevin and I did a little research yesterday into U.S. Steel's latest fine. And this was interesting because coupled with Kevin's knowledge of research to find the fines that they recently paid with my knowledge of the stock market and looking up how much revenue U.S. Steel typically pulls in a single year, which is $13 billion, Kevin.
Wow.
Last year.
13 billion.
No. Excuse me. I averaged like the last 4 years because in 2020 they did horribly.
Sure,
Because it was a
everybody
pandemic.
did.
Horribly.
Nobody
meaning-
was ordering cars.
Right. So they did like 10 billion in revenue last year. Okay. And sometimes they do as high as 20 billion. So we said, let's just average it out at 13 billion as
Sure.
their normal U.S. Steel's normal revenue. Okay. And then Kevin looked up their latest fine for doing something similar. The state of Indiana Department of Environmental Management, which regulates discharges, illegal discharges into Lake Michigan like that. What was their latest fine, Kev?
1.2 million for because of wastewater violations of the Clean Water Act and they agreed to undertake substantial measures to improve wastewater treatment and monitoring systems.
So like one penny to
Great
them.
work. And by the way, they've done a great job doing that.
Yeah.
$1.2 million was their latest fine. And it sounds big when you go to the public and you go, like Governor Holcomb goes, we fined U.S. Steel $1.2 million. Everybody goes,
Yeah.
good job, Governor Holcomb. You're such a champion for the Great Lakes, right? And then that is until you do math. Simple math. What is $1.2 million off of a company that makes $13 billion?
It's like a fraction of a percent, man. It's like nothing.
We did the math yesterday.
Oh,
You
okay,
ready?
here we go.
Ding,
It's
ding, ding.
1/100 of 1%.
Wow.
So that is, for those math
Sounds big,
wits,
doesn't it, John?
1/100 of 1%. So
Of
that's
their revenue.
of their revenue. So you take 0.0001
Wow.
times our revenue, and that's the fine.
Sounds like it was painful.
for shitting in Lake Michigan, for closing down the waste, for the water plants that had to shut down, for polluting a national lakeshore, for polluting a gorgeous marina, Portage Marina, for polluting something that's an asset for the entire Midwest. They pay .0001.
Wow. Well, the crazy thing is that fine was directly attributable to them improving their wastewater treatment and management and monitoring systems. And then
my God.
this happened after that.
If I was a governor,
Like,
I would fine them like $100 million.
it's got to hurt.
And they would sue
Let
us.
them appeal.
Then you sue us and we go to court. I would be like, your fine is $100 million. And, oh, you don't want to pay $100 million? Oh, you're used to paying $1 million. My bad. $100 million. Oh, you don't agree? Let's litigate. We'll go to the 7th Circuit in Chicago and see how they feel about this, right?
Yep.
Right?
I mean, it's interesting, right? Because at the end of the day, you've got probably the governor or a mayor or whatever who's got to feel like, well, man, they employ a lot of people and they, and they're big, they're important for our state or for our city.
Well, fix their stuff.
Yeah.
You could keep employing them. Just don't crap in our lake.
That's the
Right? And if
that's
you
the
do,
counter.
there's serious repercussions. Not a freaking slap on the wrist, .0001 of your revenue. We're talking like, I want serious.
Right. How does this stop?
It doesn't stop. It's cheaper for them to pay the fine. I guarantee you to fix that system would cost them, let's say, I don't know, $50 million. And they're like, should I spend $50 million to fix this so it never happens again, or just pay the $1 million fine when it does happen?
Right.
Right?
How did they come up with that amount, like for the fine?
Good question.
Good question. Maybe they said, we're going to fine you .0001
of your revenue.
I
Right.
hope that's not what they did. But, I mean, Jill mentioned pre-show that she said that she read something that said it was below the legal limit. And I'm thinking, well, we're going to shut the beaches and shut our waterworks down, but
Didn't look
it's,
below the legal limit.
It's
Yeah.
still below. Like, what's the legal limit? That's crazy.
I hate it.
We're going to find out.
We have
what happens.
We have problems
We'll
in
monitor
America, and we have people that aren't doing their jobs. A lot of people that aren't doing their jobs, and I'm here to try to fix that.
God,
There
what a
you go.
photo, man.
That's a
gross.
crazy photo.
That's
If you can
gross.
see, if you're not listening, if you're not watching, but you're listening, look up on the internet, Portage, Indiana.
Or just watch us.
U.S. Steel Spill.
Or just watch us on YouTube, and you can see it
Yeah,
towards
you
the
can
end
do
of
that
the show.
too. But some
You know,
people
we
like
do.
to subscribe.
We get most of our listeners are coming through Apple Pod. We know that now, right? We've shifted a lot of people off Facebook over to Apple Pod.
Thank
but
you, America.
I agree. By the way, I love Apple Pod and I love all the streaming services for podcasts. But if we also have a YouTube show. That's the video that we're doing right now, and you can see the stuff that John puts up on the screen through YouTube. So I want to remind you that's there as well.
It's a good point. You can listen to us. You can watch us archived.
And of course, we had over 100 watching us live
Thank you.
during the Facebook
Thank you,
Live
everyone.
portion. So it's like we're doing it in front of a studio audience, which we love. So
That was way better than a week ago. What do we have, like 20 people
yeah,
watching?
Yeah,
today's
with
show.
Phil- with Phil.
When we started saying we were
Thanks,
going to be
Phil.
walking on thin ice, Jill, I watched the numbers. They started climbing.
They're like, I got to see the mayor walk on thin ice.
I was nervous. I'm glad we got this show out of the way. I've had that topic on my calendar for a long time, wanting to
All
cover
right.
it.
Well, it was a good one.
Yeah, it was a good show. I appreciate it. Great to see you again, Jill. I'll see you 1 week from today, right?
Mm-hmm. I'll be
John,
there.
Jay Vez, great job today.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And then Kate Chandler, good job.
Thank you. I got to get
Appreciate
to
you.
court.
All right, man. Good. Thanks for watching LOCPOD, everybody. We'll be back on the air Friday. Thank you, and we'll see you then.